everybody, what is going on? Welcome to Regular Josh 1. Please take the time now to hit that like button in this video, and if you're new, subscribe. Well, I can certainly say that this was a surprise. Before I start, I was actually planning on doing a video talking about some of the recent animated news that we got from Paramount last week. There were some exciting things to talk about, and I might be a little too late, honestly. However, Paramount Plus has decided to drop a trailer for a show that I'm sure no one was looking forward to, the live-action sequel series of The Fairly OddParents. This took me by surprise, and after I saw the trailer for this, I decided that this needed to be its own video because I have a lot to say about this. I will admit, I wasn't the biggest fan of the original series. Now, this is not to say that I didn't like Fairly OddParents. It was a good show back then, and we did have some great iconic moments.
And this is where I'd put a trophy, if I had one!
One of the things that I really loved from the series were the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour crossover specials. I mean, those were freaking awesome, and don't you forget it. But even though I really did enjoy the show, I can't say that I loved it like some of the other Nickelodeon shows that also aired around that time, like SpongeBob, Rugrats, Jimmy Neutron, My Life as a Teenage Robot, just to name a few. Regardless, it was a good show, and then it tanked. The quality just diminished over the years, and most of us were just waiting for the series to be put out of its misery. We just wanted it to be over. I mean, honestly, that was the best thing that it could do for the show. Well, Nickelodeon said, hey, the live-action movies that we did were massively successful, so let's give it a live-action series, and poof! Here we are. When I first saw the trailer, I instantly had a question pop up. Was this really necessary? Did we really need another Fairly OddParents show? Look, I'm not really a big fan of saying, oh, nobody asked for this. I certainly didn't ask for this, so why are we getting the show when it comes to certain shows or projects being announced? Because at the end of the day, it's clear that it doesn't really matter. However, with the Fairly OddParents, I have literally seen no one say anything about how much they want this show to come back. In fact, I barely see anyone really mention the show outside of using it as a meme. I think I might have a reason for why that is. As good as the original series was, at least for the first 5 seasons, the downfall in quality was massive. With the introduction of both Sparky and Chloe, things just gotten so much worse. Hell, Sparky never returned after that one season that he was in. I mean, thank goodness, because he was absolutely the worst. Because of this, the reputation that this show had also began to falter. It ended on such a low note that I think it really affected on how many people think about the Fairly OddParents. Its downfall from grace was not pleasant, and it looks like it's only going to get worse from here. Though I guess I can't really be all that surprised that Nickelodeon decided to bring the show back. Mainly because they've been on the nostalgia train a lot recently, with them reviving series like iCarly, Rugrats, Blue's Clues, 3 of their older shows getting movies in recent years, and Dora the Explorer coming back with 2 freaking shows. Yes, you heard that right, 2 shows. So I guess bringing back Fairly OddParents was just going to happen naturally at this point, but God, not like this. The new live-action series called The Fairly OddParents, Fairly Odder, takes place years later when Timmy is grown, kinda like those dreaded live-action movies starring Drake Bell. He gives his fairies to his cousin Vivian, also known as Viv, who is not adjusting well to her new life. She now has a new mom and a new stepbrother, and now with the help of Cosmo and Wanda, she can start living the life that she always wanted. Sorta. So, when you watch the first trailer, there's something that you notice once it officially starts. This is a multi-cam sitcom. Yep, I was not expecting this. Because, you know, the Fairly OddParents totally works in a multi-camera sitcom setting. I mean, who thought this was a good idea? Was anybody expecting this to even be a sitcom? Did I miss something when this was initially announced, or did they just never tell us this? Everything about this is just wrong. First off, let's talk about Cosmo and Wanda. Because of the way that sitcoms are usually filmed, visual effects are usually not its strong suit. They always look cheap and, well, not really that believable. Cosmo and Wanda literally do not blend in with the real-life settings of this show. In a majority of the shots, they're not even in the same frame as our actors, so it just makes the whole thing honestly look awkward, and in some ways, they seem like an afterthought. I mean, look, in one shot, the camera starts panning to the right. Cosmo and Wanda literally move along with the movement of that camera. I mean, seriously? These two are still 2D animated in this thing. That alone doesn't work because there is no believability at all that these two are even there. Even when the actors are in the same shot as the fairies, it doesn't even remotely look like they're actually looking at them. Why they decided to go this route is beyond me. The only reason I really have is honestly because not only is it cheaper to film stuff like this, but it's also a lot quicker too. I could do a whole video on how sitcoms are filmed, but I won't. I think if they made the show animated, it could have probably worked a little better. Certain ideas just work better when they are animated, and some work better when they're live action. Both have their strengths and weaknesses in certain fields. I just wish that they thought about that before making this, but whatever. This is what we got now, so, yay. Honestly, as bad as this isn't even the worst offense for me. See, in this show, Viv, who is Timmy's supposed cousin, has been gifted his Fairly Odd Parents by him. Weird, because I didn't think that was something that you could do. I guess I gotta check the rules. Now, here's the thing. In the show, kids that often lived miserable lives were given a fairly godparent of their own. Timmy got two of them because not only did he have the worst parents, but he was also stuck with a terrible babysitter, so it was honestly no wonder why he got them in the first place. They made his life less miserable, just simple as that. With Vivian, however, that doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, I don't know about you, but she does not look miserable to me. It seems like all it is that she's just having a hard time adjusting to her new life. I mean, come on, almost everybody has a hard time adjusting to a new life. That's really not something that would justify you getting fairy godparents. Let's be real about this. And yes, while I know that Timmy gave her his fairies, it doesn't really look like she even deserves them to begin with. At least from what we've seen in the trailer. I mean, we don't really have the full picture yet, so maybe we see more of her predicament, but hey, maybe she's partially miserable because she has an annoying stepbrother. Guys, I'm sorry, okay, but I am really having a hard time justifying why this exists. This just seems to miss the mark already on so many accounts. It's all such a shame that just how even after the original series ended, it still continues to go downhill from there. At the very least, we still have the first 5 seasons of the show, and we can just go back to the days where the show was good and hopefully forget about anything that came afterwards. Fairly Odder comes out on Paramount Plus on March 31st. I don't really know if I'm gonna do a review of this show, to be honest, but I am gonna check out the first episode regardless. It might be painful, but at this point, I have to do it. It's kind of an obligation at this point. If you guys have seen the trailer, let me know what you think about the new series down in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and hit the bell to be notified on my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, you're hearing it from a regular bunny in a regular world. See you next time.